Good morning. Good morning, replay viewers and live viewers and web viewers. Hey, Aaron, I've got a call into the post office. Good morning, good morning. I called the post office, Aaron, and if they can't figure out where the package is, it's somewhere there. I'll just send another one. There's time for me to send another one with regular postage, so. No, it's not your fault. Here's what happens, people, when you don't listen to your intuition. I looked at Aaron's address and thought, something about that doesn't look right. And I thought, well, I should just message her and find out what about that address looks wrong to me. And I didn't. I just went ahead and mailed it, and it was the wrong address. So something in me knew and was telling me that something about that address was wrong. And that's what you get when you don't listen. Right. Excuse me, I think you have my package. Good morning. I want to show you, this is my Sammy Hagar hair. I can't drive 55. That's what you get. You remember Sammy Hagar, right? I'm sorry, but Van Halen was never the same when David Lee Roth left. Good morning. Sammy just couldn't do it. He just was not the same. It was not the same. That's what David Lee Roth gets for letting his ego get too big for him. I want to show you this mala. So when you attend a Desire Map workshop with me, and then you can take level 2 if you want, which is shorter and more intense and less expensive. You get a personalized mala from Lynn Carter, who's at the Blue Bobcat. So this has stones on it where you can put your essential oils. And then if you're not familiar with the word mala, it's just for prayer beads or affirmations, or you can sit and, you start at this middle bead which holds your prayers and count them. You can say whatever, love, over and over, 108 times. There's 27 beads on this, so that's 4 rounds. So if you're using mantras or whatever, that's what these are for. So you get one if you attend level 2, and this was mine. So everybody in the level 2 group currently got one, and hopefully Michelle's arrives to her today. So follow at the Blue Bobcat. She will start offering these for sale soon. Right now she's been making them for classes and family and stuff. Hi, Sarah. Here's the mala. Lynn's Mala Creations. Hello. Okay, so listen to your intuition, because it's trying to tell you stuff. Even little things like don't mail packages to the wrong address. And then if you don't listen, you have to deal with the consequences. It's no big deal. I'll get them to you, Aaron, by Tuesday, one way or the other. It's not that big a deal. It's good practice. But we are here to talk about Tao Te Ching stuff. Well, you're welcome. I want you to have your stuff in time. I've got my fingers crossed that Silvana, who's in Guatemala, will have hers in time. My screen is super glitchy. Are you guys clear? Because if you're not, if the screen is freezing up, I'm going to go unplug the phone. See, Tanya listened to her intuition and caught a bill that she hadn't signed. Okay, I'm going to unplug my... Okay, I'll be right back. I'm going to unplug my phone. Let's see if that helps. I unplugged my phone router. We'll see if that makes it any better. Good morning. Let's talk about the Tao Te Ching today. Shall we? I love this book. I know I say that every time, but I really do. I really do love it. Is that better? Am I glitchy? Am I freezing up? It's working better here. Okay. Being simple. Just the title alone is important information. Anywhere you can simplify, simplify. Oh, darn it. Here, I'll put the book here so that it's not distracting, so you can't see my mouth moving and it gets all weird. Okay, well, we do the best we can, right? Run the country by doing what's expected. Win the war by doing the unexpected. Control the world by doing nothing. How do I know that? By this. The more restrictions and prohibitions in the world, the poorer people get. The more experts the country has, the more of a mess it's in. The more ingenious the skillful are, the more monstrous their inventions. The louder the call for law and order, the more the thieves and con men multiply. That sounds counterintuitive, doesn't it? So a wise leader might say, I practice inaction and the people look after themselves. I love to be quiet and the people themselves find justice. I don't do business and the people prosper on their own. I don't have wants and the people themselves are uncut wood. So her notes on this section say, a strong political statement of the central idea of Wu Wei, which is not doing in inaction. W-U-W-E-I. That's 2 words, Wu Wei. It's the art of doing without doing. My monstrous is literally new. New is strange and strange is uncanny. New is bad. Lao Tzu is deeply and firmly against changing things, particularly in the name of progress. He would make an Iowa farmer look flighty. I don't think he is exactly anti-intellectual, but he considers most uses of the intellect to be pernicious and all plans for improving things to be disastrous. Yet he's not a pessimist. No pessimist would say that people are able to look after themselves, be just, and prosper on their own. No anarchist can be a pessimist. Uncut wood, here likened to the human soul, the uncut, uncarved, native natural stuff is better than anything that can be made out of it. Anything done to it deforms and lessens it. Its potentiality is infinite and its uses are trivial. I have no idea on earth how you could run it, how you could run things without the natural human tendency of hierarchy taking over at some point. There's a book out there called The Summer School or Somerville. No, it wouldn't be Somerville. I'll try and find it and put it in the Facebook group. It's about a school that was run this way. Summerhill, thank you. Thank you. Summerhill. So it's about a school that was run like this, as I recall. It's been a million years since I read it. But the kids learned what they wanted to learn and what they felt passionate about. And the teachers provided them with the resources to do that. And I want to say the kids had they were responsible for running nearly everything that they possibly could. I would love to know where those kids are now. Like if they've struggled or if they had to learn the systems but still be outside of the system. It was way more freedom than Montessori. It was like, correct me if I'm wrong, Nina, if I'm misremembering, but yeah, unschooling. It was like putting a bunch of kids together and giving them access to all available subjects and then letting them pursue only those things that they were interested in. So not, and at their own pace. So they weren't like held to a specific schedule. We know that children don't do well when they have to get up as early as we make them get up to go to school. We know that, and yet we do it anyway because it fits our work schedule and we don't know what else to do. So, yeah. I do know that the Waldorf school is a somewhat looser, a similar unschool type of school. Knows which part. The school schedule? Oh, right, yeah, no, the sleeping thing, yeah. I think not everybody believes it, too. Morgan went to a Waldorf school for a year. You have to have yes, yeah. It's a challenge. And then, so, I know more than one person who went to Waldorf schools to 12th grade and then really struggled out in the world because they didn't understand the larger systems. So it's curious to me to think if you can do a school where you teach kids how to function in the larger society and yet keep intact their natural passion and their natural drive to learn, because the best thing you can do is teach a kid to love to learn. And then try and help them survive the school system. And always tell them, this is just something that we have to get through. But, the truth is, you'll get to decide at some point in your life what you study and what you don't. I do know that going to college changed my worldview. Yeah. Sometimes that's all you can do is support them in surviving the system they're in. If going to college really expanded me in ways that I wouldn't have. Even though I had to take classes that I didn't want to take and I was mad about it a lot, those classes served me in expanding my understanding that my view is not everybody's view, and to really learn respect for other people's viewpoints. So let's see what, I don't know why I got sidetracked on school, but I think it's a challenge to do these things sometimes. Other than for yourself. Okay, if you want to be... right. And I had to take the Math for Dummies class that was held on one day and tested at the end of the day because they knew we couldn't retain that information longer than 8 hours. So they do a section and then they test us. And then they do a section and then they test us. And at the end of the day, we ran through it all real quick and then we took the test. Yeah, because they knew. It was like the only way they could get us a math credit. This is for my undergrad degree, and I was very grateful. I'm very grateful to Colorado State University for providing that option. It was effective because I could retain it for a few hours. I just couldn't retain it overnight. Oh, Tanya, that's awesome. If you want to be a great leader, this is Stephen Mitchell's version. If you want to be a great leader, you must learn to follow the Tao. Stop trying to control. Didn't we get this same message yesterday? I have math amnesia too. Didn't we get the letting go of control message yesterday too with the Horse King card? Stop trying to control. Let go of fixed plans and concepts, and the world will govern itself. The more prohibitions you have, the less virtuous people will be. The more weapons you have, the less secure people will be. The more subsidies you have, the less self-reliant people will be. Therefore, the Master says, I let go of the law and people become honest. I let go of economics and people become prosperous. I let go of religion and people become serene. I let go of all desire for the common good, and the good becomes common as grass. If you took this out of, good morning. If you took this out of thinking of it in terms of the world and applied it just to your own internal, your microcosm, The more prohibitions you have on your own behavior, the more you'll fight against them. I mean, you could take this down to a personal level. Letting go of fixed plans and concepts in the microcosm of your own personal world, your world will right itself. Deprivation sets in. Then you get a binge purge cycle. And binge purge cycles are not just to do with food. They're to do with anything. You overexercise and then stop. You watch too much TV and then you don't let yourself watch any TV. Binge deprivation. So think of that. Think of today's in terms of that. Stop trying to control on your inner world, letting go of your own fixed plans and concepts, and watch your world right itself. I missed a comment, darn it. The more rules you have, the less virtuous you'll be. The more weapons you have, the less secure you'll be. And that can be, that can be weapons you use against yourself, like words and old stories, outdated stories that should have been gone long ago, and you use them as weapons against yourself. It can also be filling your house with weapons out of fear, thinking that a house full of guns is going to help you do anything. We had a friend in Keensburg who had an arsenal under his house. And he played on Heath's paranoia, because Heath can drift over to the conspiracy theories side sometimes, and I have to pull him back and go, snap out of it. Give him a quick whack across the face. Just kidding. He would play on that, and then Heath wanted to start filling our house with guns. And I was like, no. What do you think a gun is going to do against a tank? Do you really think in a government military takeover or a smackdown of martial law that your little gun pile is going to do anything? No, the government has tanks, dummy. Tanks! Bombs! You're not going to do anything except suicide by cop. It's silly. It's fear-based, and loading your house with weapons won't help you. And using internal weapons against yourself in an attempt to whip yourself again into line is ludicrous. Well, zombies, yeah. I mean, that I can agree with. You do need a stockpile for the zombie apocalypse, because be a little prepared. Stock up some water and food and some ammunition for the zombies. Let go of your internal law and you'll become, you'll become more honest with yourself. Take down the barriers and the shame, and you'll become more authentic with yourself. You'll be able to own the parts of you that are we would label bad or shameful or naughty or whatever you want to call it. Let go of that, and at least you can have honesty in your own house, your own internal house. Let go of economics and watch your prosperity increase. And by that I mean letting go of all the pressure and tangled up stories that we place on money. Letting go of religion and watch yourself become serene. Let go of the dogma of religion. There's nothing wrong with religion. If it brings you comfort and you enjoy the structure and it helps you stay accountable to your own daily practice, use it. Don't misuse it. Don't get paranoid and weird that if you don't do the cross right, you're going to go to hell. And letting go of desire for the common good, good becomes common and grass. And this is the same exact message we got yesterday also. Let go of your desire to cure the world. The world doesn't need curing. The world needs you to cure yourself. If you're on a mission to heal the planet, heal yourself first, and then see if you still have that mission. Your good will become common as grass when you let go of trying to fix everybody around you and Yeah, and the world. God, please don't take that on. No one asked you to. The world is not broken. The world is what it is. And your only responsibility is to clean up your own house. And when your house is all cleaned up, you won't feel the need to go fix everybody else's house. Take care of your own leaky roof first. And then see what you think. See where you want to go from there. Chances are you won't want to go out and heal the world. Exactly. If you take responsibility for healing yourself, yeah, and comparing to anyone else, definitely. So it's hard for me today's verse is hard for me to apply to the larger world, but it's pretty easy for me to apply to my own internal system and arrangement of my own head. Try that. We think if we take the restrictions off ourselves that we're just going to run amok and turn into, couch potatoes and do nothing all day. That's not true. Hi, Angela. When you take all the rules and prohibitions off yourself and all the restrictions off, you might have a couch potato period of time. But then your natural urge to create comes back. Hi. And you start to get up and do stuff. You may have experienced this during a time of unemployment or a layoff or something where you wanted to unless you let anxiety drive you nuts, which I've done. But when I've allowed myself to just have a few weeks off, yeah, you lay around for a while, and then you're like, well, I feel like making something, or I feel like calling that person, and then you get to learn your natural rhythms. Martha Beck says, work, 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 play, rest, work until you feel resistance to it, and then go play, whatever that means for you, crocheting or taking a walk or playing with your kids or playing a video game, whatever. And then rest, take a nap, go to sleep, go lay in the sun, having a huge amount of nothingness to stop the inertia of movement. Yes. Try that. Try thinking of it that way. And let's see what Byron Katie has for us today. And remember the importance of saying no. You got to say no to some things to get your, You've got to say no to get the time that you need to rediscover what your own natural rhythms are. Yeah, yes, pendulum swinging is really normal. You go way too far the other side when you're trying to bring a behavior into balance. It can take some time to come into balance. You go way too far into rigidity, and then way too far into permissiveness, and back and forth and back and forth. Work, play, rest, that's a bigger life pattern too. Yes, definitely. Yes. Allow those cycles to be as much as you can. Unless you're working in a factory, even if you're in a cubicle, you can slow your pace down when you feel like it's time to rest, but you can't leave work. You can slow down your pace. You can do some deep breathing at your desk. You can do, if you Google yoga at the desk or something, there's little yoga poses you can do while you're sitting at your desk. No one has to know what you're doing, and you can still learn to honor your own internal rhythms as best as possible, given the circumstances you're in. Sometimes there are things we have to do. We can't always follow our natural rhythms, but we can get pretty close. So, Byron Katie says, let go of fixed plans and concepts and the world will govern itself. We knew she was going to go here, right? When you follow, people message you when they don't see, you're like, I'm resting. I can't be on Periscope all the time. I need to rest. We need technology breaks. Sometimes I get to where I just can't even bear to pick up my phone. I just need technology to stop it, to rest. It's a regular troll fest in here today. Okay, when you follow the simple way of it, you notice that reality holds all the wisdom you'll ever need. You don't need any wisdom of your own. Plans are unnecessary. Reality always shows you what comes next. Yes, rest. Honoring rest saves you. I don't know. I don't know why that happens, Roseanne. Honoring your need to rest means you have more energy to do what needs to be done, and you'll be faster and more efficient by doing so. I know, they should have their own scope. They should have their own troll club. You don't need plans. Reality shows you where to go. Very common to feel guilty when you start resting for yourself. Yeah, it's really, guilt is a common response because we're not taught to honor that. No, thank you. Pass. Nah, I'm going to drink my coffee instead. Oh, yeah. Well, you know, he's asking for what he wants. I haven't had one that direct in, a long time. A long time. And like, what do they think you're going to say? Okay! Where are you? Yeah. Last week, it's probably too tiny anyway. That's what I should have said. No, it's probably too little. I know. No, it's too little. Oh, shit. Sorry, can't find it. I don't have a magnifying glass. He was thinking with it. Oh, God. You get to where you see those screen names pop up and you just know, right? You know, oh, that's a troll. I just didn't get his blocked in time. I don't have a magnifying glass and tweezers with me at the moment, so sorry. SS, right? Sorry, sucker. Ain't no sucking happening today. Last week in Copenhagen, let's return to our Byron Katie. I hope there's no children listening. Now I got the giggles. I can't quit. Okay. Focus. Oh boy. Now my eyes are, you guys have me laughing so hard I'm crying. Last week in Copenhagen, I bought a black eye patch to rest my right eye when it hurts, my pirate costume. My eyes are seeing less for longer periods of time, and the pain has increased. It's best just to laugh it off. It's not the response they want. And I try to catch them as they come in, but I hesitated for a second on his, and that's what got us our lovely comment. But that's okay. It got us a good laugh. Laughter is good, right? Oh. So Byron, Katie, they're like all 12 years old, Roseanne. They're all like 14-year-olds with nothing better to do. I'm excited to find out what blind people know. The kindness of a world without vision. How the other senses become more acute. How the hands learn to feel their way. How ready friends and strangers are to help. In case you don't know, she had an eye condition that was causing her to go blind. I know that that's been addressed now. But at the time, she was welcoming the reality that she was going blind. She wasn't fighting against it. Yes. She had some surgery or something. I think she had her corneas replaced. Some kind of big deal. Anyway, It turns out that I may or may not go blind. Oh, yeah, she had her corneas. She just talks about it right here. But I know that it's been done. Hey, Heidi. How are you? It turns out I may or may not go blind. Before I left for my summer tour in Europe, a specialist told me there's such a thing as a cornea transplant surgery. Good. One moment there's no cure, the next moment there is. He said I wouldn't be a candidate for another 4 or 5 years. Great. Stephen does some research and learns that if I'm going to have surgery, the sooner the better. He was actually wrong. Good. I'll be able to see with new eyes. He does more research and we learn that the surgery has repercussions. Uncomfortable stitches in the eyes and 12 to 18 months recovery time. I hear from a woman who still has 6 stitches in her eye after 16 months and a lot of pain. Good, I think I can do that. People say, Katie, stop traveling the world. Is that the way of it? Who knows? Success or no success with the surgery, whether my body rejects the new cornea or accepts it, whether I see or not, I have no experience with traveling under such circumstances. Reality will let me know. What it shows me for the present is to keep moving. Now through the internet, Stephen discovers there's a new kind of cornea transplant surgery. That's a 1-hour procedure with no stitches and transplants just the inner layer of the cornea and has a recovery time of just a few weeks. So he's doing all the research for her, and every piece of information that comes in, she's like, okay. And then more comes in. She's like, okay. So she doesn't get all confused and whacked out because the information keeps changing. She's just welcoming it, and she knows when they hit on the right one, she'll know. Because this is a whole page of like how they went back and forth. She doesn't make any decisions until it's time to make the decision. And because she's in tune and not fighting reality, she'll know. So when we're in that place, that in-between, we gather information, we let it sit in our heads, we seek consultation, and then we let it sit. Yes, exactly. That is exactly what you're doing right now. You're exploring careers, you're looking at options, you're evaluating relationships, you're evaluating circumstances, and then you just let it sit. You let the information hang out in your head while you do what's in front of you to do, and when it's time to make the decision, you'll just naturally make it. You won't have to worry about it. You'll know when you know. And I know that if you think about it, you've had that experience in your life already, so you can remember what it felt like. So she says, I am dictating this after putting drops of eye pain medication in my right eye. I've been doing my job, a weekend intensive, and then I signed books until my eye stung. What a beautiful moment. Stephen's typing my words. The breeze flowing through the open terrace door of the hotel room, the Stockholm sky, the gratitude I'm feeling for 2 doctors, someone's mother who express mailed me emergency eye drops from France. She's thinking of all the supports she has. People that took care of her need for emergency eye drops. People to do the research on the best kind of procedure. The beauty of the moment where she is. The beauty of the sky, the beauty of the wind, or the breeze. Who knows how my eye condition will turn out? I only know that it's a good thing as I sit here doing what I do, being what it is. Whose corneas will show up? Oh, eyes are terrifying. I don't think I could even have LASIK, and everyone tells me it's fine, but I'm like, I just don't think I can. I guess if my vision gets bad enough, I'll rethink that. Actually, I don't think I'm a candidate, because when you get old, you just get old. And different doctors will tell you different things. It doesn't work if you're older, or that it does. Who knows? Who will die and give me new vision if the surgery works? Like me, like you, he or she will die perfectly on time, not a moment too early or too late, and I will inherit the corneas living in that person now. A woman, a man, old, young, black, white, yellow. I love the way of it. I love that when I die, my body parts too will be recycled. Take my heart, my organs, my secondhand eyes, take whatever you need, whatever is usable. They don't belong to me anyway, and they never have. I look forward to being blind if the surgery doesn't work. I've already been there, almost. I've walked through airport terminals unable to see the signs. I've walked through hotels when the world was a total blur. I have stood in front of thousands of people when I was unable to see their raised hands in a world without faces, colors. A beautiful world and very simple to live in. Stephen can see and read without glasses, and at the hotel breakfast buffet, I am quick to be on my own as he points out where the eggs are, where the decaf is, where the bread goes. I know that I don't need to know anything, and perception shows me shadows, textures, the feel and glow of the world. Having a physical condition like that requires you to ask for and accept help. And I love how gracefully she assumes that help is going to be available to her, and it always is. And for a long time, now I'll ask for help now for anybody. But for a long time I wouldn't. I thought I had to do everything by myself. And then I figured out, by knowing that it's going to happen anyway, and you might as well accept it, requires you to ask for and receive help. It's your eyes, for God's sake. Yeah, so having a physical condition that requires you to ask for help and use it and receive it, you can fight that and be resentful about it, or you could be graceful about it the way she is. She just assumes that someone's going to be there to help her. And I had a friend who had help all the time, and I was like, how can you do that? And he was like, well, why wouldn't I do that? It's easier. Oh, good. Yes, if you're not asking for help and you're trying to gut it out and do it all yourself, please stop doing that. There's people who would love to help you. There's people who will offer to help you. There's people who would be happy to help if you ask them. Yes, please. The best thing you can do for yourself is give yourself the ability to ask for and receive help with grace and dignity. People love to help. You love to help. We all love to help. Let people have that experience with you. Then you get the help you need, yes, and they get to feel happy that they helped someone. Once I figured that out, and then traveling a lot by myself, I had to learn to ask for help because every airport you go to is confusing. Yeah, it's wonderful when someone says, hey, I think you need this. Can I help you? Can I give you this? And you can say, no, it doesn't feel appropriate for me right now. Or you can say, oh, hell yeah, thank you. Don't block them from receiving a blessing by helping. Yeah. So if you need to think of it that way, that you're doing them a favor. I'm going to ask you for help and give you the opportunity to help me so you can receive a blessing and how good it feels to help. And I can get the help I need. I got over needing to do it all myself from traveling, as I had to ask for help. I went to so many different airports over the years. I had to ask for help. Help me, please. You're welcome. That's a great way to look at it. You do have to let go of trying to control everything if you're going to ask for help. And you have to accept the help you get. If you ask your husband to load the dishwasher, then don't bitch at him because he didn't load it the way you would load it. Your family doesn't help you? Yes. Sometimes our families don't. And it makes us branch out into the rest of the world and find help in other arenas, and it's not easy. Good. Yeah, so women are sometimes particularly bad at this with yourself. Good. We ask for help and then we complain about the help we get. So recognize that not everything has to be done the way you would do it. So if the hubster empties the dish or loads a dishwasher and just turn it, just don't worry about it. The dishes got cleaned. And maybe 7 more could have been put in there if he'd have stacked it right. But you can just, you can just add those 7 dishes to the next load. Don't worry about it. Kids too. If you give the kid the chore of cleaning the bathroom and you've taught them, don't complain when they don't do it the way you would do it. The bathroom's clean enough. Don't worry about it. Enjoy your extra time. Go read a book. Go read the Koya book. Oh, yeah. When kids fold towels, yeah, that's hilarious. Okay, so if you know to go back to your question, Betty, if you know that you're going to go blind, you may as well just accept it and start looking forward to it as a new adventure, which is how she did. And she didn't have that problem anymore, but at the time she was like, well, I'm going blind. So what kind of adventure is this going to be? Not seriously, but sometimes I half wish I'd go deaf because sounds are so... I'm extremely sensitive to sound, and sound can almost like autistic. You can be blind and happy or blind and upset. Yeah, either way you're going to be blind. I don't really wish to lose my hearing, but I do wear earplugs a lot because sound can be really grating to me sometimes. Any sound. So sometimes it's wonderful to just shove earplugs in my ears and not hear anything for a while. But I have that option. If I was going deaf, I'm sure I'd be a little more upset about it. Let's see. I see the common good everywhere. And the common... You were losing your... Oh, yeah. Oh, well, yeah. I mean, she had time. This wasn't sudden. Yeah, I'm right there with Davis on the sound issue. And Heath, too. Heath is ultra sensitive to sound. We're on the spectrum, We're somewhere on the spectrum. I see the common good everywhere, and the common good looks like entire villages being wiped out by one tsunami. It looks like one man losing his legs, another man getting the raise that he worked so hard for, a woman so obese she can't bend over. It looks like the smell coming from the sewer or the clouds as they slowly move across the blue sky. I no longer believe that the man with no legs shouldn't have lost his legs. I see that he wants them, I see that he thinks he needs them, and I see the heartbreak that comes from his believing that story. I see that his war with reality is causing all his misery. Misery can never be caused by loss of legs. It can only arise from his desire for what is not. The fight against reality, the fight against our own thoughts, is what causes our suffering every single time. I should, I shouldn't, you should, you shouldn't, I want, I need. These unquestioned thoughts distort the appearance of the good that is common as grass. When you believe these thoughts, you make your mind small, and small-mindedness doesn't allow you to see why the loss of legs could be good, why blindness could be good, sickness, hunger, death, a village, the whole apparent world of suffering. You stay unaware of the good that is all around you. You block out the elation you'd feel when you finally recognized it. Whatever you think, reality is the natural way of it. It won't bend to your ideas of what it should be, and it won't wait for your consent or permission. It will remain just as it is, pure goodness, whether or not you understand. And that's the truth of it. Reality is what it is, and we try and twist it and turn it and change it. And one of the best things you can do is stop trying to get from here to over there. Because by focusing here and staying connected here, you will get over there. And it will happen organically and softly and in alignment so that when you get over there, you're energized and all in one piece. Being here and trying to get there, or wishing you were there, or, doing anything to escape the reality of where you are right now, costs you valuable energy that's better spent counting your blessings, decluttering a closet, writing in your journal, washing the dishes, chop wood, carry water. Do those things in a mindful way and restore your own energy levels easily. And you will get where you want to go. But it happens with a completely different energy. Does that make sense? Do you guys get that? Have you had that experience ever? Yeah. We spend a lot of energy with our foot on the brake and our foot on the gas at the same time. Which, yes, it shifts to a completely different energy when you let go of arguing with the reality. Yay, Heidi! Yeah, this group is great. It's great. I got into the sugar yesterday, so I woke up scattered and grumpy. And it, reminded me why I don't eat a lot of sugar. I can get away with a little bit, but a little bit sometimes more often than I would like crosses into a lot. But the Valentine's Day candy was on sale, so, But now I'm paying the consequences for it, so I really looked forward to talking to this group. Yeah, that'd be great, Heidi. We love having you. Because it helps me get centered and focused. So, yeah, this group experience every day. It was on sale. It was 88 cents for a bag of Hershey's Kisses. Do you know how expensive Hershey's Kisses are? What was I supposed to do? It was 88 cents at the dollar store. I had to, right? We love that, don't we? I had to do it. It was on sale. So I put the rest in the freezer. And because I don't eat it very often, what used to be now a little is a lot. Because I don't eat it all the time anymore. And when I do, it's pretty minimal. Well, yeah. Yeah, 88 cents. Who can say no to that? That shit's expensive. So, thank you. You're my gratitude. I appreciate you. These hearts and the shares and the follows and all your energies here that support me as I support you, and it's just mutual benefit, mutual admiration, and it means the world to me. It means the world to me. It really does. So, if you haven't done any deep breathing today, you could do a few deep breaths as we wrap up and say a prayer for yourself and ask that angels go before you today and untangle any knots that might be in your path. Thank you. It's borrowed wisdom. Or God or guides. Thank you. Thank you. What I do for myself, yes, Roseanne, yeah. What I do for myself is I imagine these lines of light. It's just a visual trick. And before I leave the house, I imagine that all these lines of light are moving through me. That's my image of the universal energy or quantum mechanics or field, the quantum field, the soup, whatever. I see it moving through me as straight lines like this. And that sometimes a wreck or a delay could be a knot in those lines. So if I get a sense that there's a knot, I just imagine those lines untangling and becoming straight. So like these smooth, straight, glowing lines. And I ask for God or angels or whatever energies that support me moving in the world go ahead of me out into the day and untangle those knots. If I've created any. I don't know if it works or not, but it makes me feel better, so I do it. I don't know if there's any truth to it, but it makes me happy, so. Angels go before me. I say that a lot. Angels go before me through the day. Help me be a blessing to myself and others. Untangle any knots in my path. And put me to work. Help me be of service. I say that one a lot. Faux shizzle. Okay, I'm going to wrap up and do some self-care today. I'm going to read some fiction book that has nothing to do with anything except sheer entertainment. And then I may have to run into town. So, yes, have a wonderful day, you guys too. And you're very welcome, and thank you for being part of my path. Thank you for letting me walk the path with you. Have an awesome day yourselves. Love you very much. Blessings on all our heads. Okay, bye.